Righto guys, today we're going to go over how to do H1 calculations using the calculation method. The only things you will need are this H1 calculation sheet. This will be found in Notion, and you'll also need your floor plan. I find it best to use the floor finishes plan. It's nice and tidy. We also need a fill with show area text turned on. So first things first, we're going to take this fill and drag it over the building outline, so around the external walls. We do not need to include wing walls. It is only the insulated frame of the building. So I'll just quickly get this done and then check back in. I also have Shannon here with me, and I'm going to get her to do the same thing on her job while I do this, and ask me any questions. So hopefully some of the questions you have are answered. So I'll check back in soon. Sweet, so I have gone around and I've put this fill in. It is only around the insulated walls. In some cases, a garage will be insulated, and in other cases, it will not be. In our case, on this job, the garage is to be insulated with an insulated garage door, so I've gone around that. If your garage isn't going to be insulated, these internal walls here would be, and I would just have my fill run around the garage like so. However, I do not have that, so I'm just going to undo that. And I just quickly need to find where my area text is on my fill, so I'm just going to drag it down to here. Here I can see the note, 262.59 square meters. So now I'm going to open up calculator, and in this part here, I'm going to type in my number, so 262.59. Let's double check that that's the correct number. Awesome. So it's this square here. Awesome. So now that we've input that area, the next thing we need to do is put this perimeter in. So that perimeter is the perimeter of this fill, of the insulated area. So if I Control Z and bring this back up, I wouldn't include this wing wall. I also wouldn't include the garage, as I said before, if that was required in the job. So if I go a step forward, what you can do is select your fill, and if you go into Window, Palettes, Element Information, and make sure you have this icon highlighted and no others. You can highlight more than one at once, but you just want this first one. And then it'll say circumference here, so 92,680 millimeters, or 92.68 meters. So if I come back to my calculator, and here I would type 92.68.
Cool.
Awesome. So the next step is to fill out these 6 drop-down menus and questions. So we need to know our roof and wall insulation R values. We need to know what roof cladding we have, what wall cladding we have, and what our stud centers are. So if I come into my job and I come into a cross-section or something, I should have some notation for my insulation. And I am blind, so it's going to take a while. paint back's insulation roof. So Nick, who prepared this job, has missed our wall insulation by the looks, but that's all good. So my roof on this job is 3.2, so just click on the drop down menu, 3.2, and then the walls hopefully are in a different cross section. No, we're going to have to fire Nick, it's all good. Does he even put it in the cross sections? Do I need to be fired? Yeah, wall 2.2. So if I come back, it's already set to 2.2. My roof cladding on this job is profile metal, I know that. And then there's a combination of claddings on this job. So I have on this job two types of vertical timber. One's a painted timber, the other one's a cedar, and then we also have a James Hardie product in some cases. The James Hardie product is actually over these areas here, so that's not actually affecting the external envelope of the build. So in that case, we just need to only use the claddings that are a part of this external frame. So if I was to open this job up in 3D, do I have one across the video? I do. So we've got this painted timber and this cedar, but this James Hardie product is only on the external surface, it's not part of the envelope. So back in my calculator, if I put this drop down menu in, there's a couple of options. Now, this linear weatherboard is actually set up for a James Hardie product, for a fibre cement weatherboard. So any fibre cement product you use, just select linear weatherboard. It doesn't matter if it's James Hardie sheet cladding or a vertical oblique or a panel of some kind. It doesn't matter if it's a different company like BGC. They will all go under a linear weatherboard. That's because in this table here, these R values have been inputted from a document provided by Brands, I believe. So that's all good. But in this case, I think we just go for bevelback weatherboard. That's based on a timber weatherboard product, which I'm using on my job. I'm lucky because both of my products could be considered bevelback weatherboard, or I would use bevelback weatherboard for both of them. Some jobs you will get like brick veneer in combination with another cladding. That's really popular with housing company jobs. So in that case, what I would do is I'd select brick veneer, and you'll notice that these two numbers here are changing depending on what claddings you use. So that's an adjustment of this number here. So for brick veneer, it's adjusting the 2.2 down to 1.9, and for linear weatherboard, it's going down to 1.8. Just select whichever is the worst case scenario. So
I've got brick veneer and cedar, so there will be brick and rusticated.
Yep.
What's the worst?
Or bevelback, but I think rusticated is probably better to choose. Yeah. So, sorry, they're the same, so that's all good. In the past, councils have asked me to model the building for both claddings.
Okay. So you just do it twice, really?
No. So I just choose the worst case scenario and say that the other cladding has a better insulation value according to the Brands document, and therefore it would still comply. So we'll get further down the line. Basically, these two numbers here are important numbers. This is our maximum heat loss number that we can hit, and this is what we're hitting with the numbers we've currently put in. Sometimes we won't be achieving what we want to achieve. like this number will be too high. And then in that case, because it's more likely to happen if we've used the worst case scenario here. So then in that case, we might have to do some adjusting, but that's all good. So for now, I'm just going to go rusticated. My studs are 90 mil. They're at 400 mil centers. Yep, that's correct. So we've filled out these 6 questions with input numbers here and here. The only things left to do are to fill out these numbers. And then input our glazing areas. So my job has 2.7 meter high studs. So in here, I would put 0.3. So, a 2.7 stud. And my perimeter is going to be 92.68. Because it's the whole way around the building. So then the final step is to input our glazing calculations. So if you click on this glazing calculations tab, these are some old numbers from the previous job I've done. So I'll just quickly delete all those. And come back up to the top here. So what we need to do is go around our building and input the sizes of all the joinery within the insulated envelope. So if your garage is insulated, you would include these windows. This garage door is insulated, so I don't need to include it. If your garage isn't insulated, you wouldn't include any of this joinery in your numbers. You also don't include this internal door. And I usually have this on another screen, but I'll do it on the screen too. I need to include this because my door is insulated. If for whatever reason your garage is insulated but your door isn't, then you have to include the saving size. But people who insulate their garage also insulate their door usually because they're not lunatics. So I'm back at the end. So now I have this number here, 60.5. And if I come back into this H1 calculations tab, I should see this 60.5 show up in this square here. And if it didn't, you might have to custom type it in, but that's all good. So what we've got here is our perimeter of wall and our wall height, and that has calculated out to a wall area of 250.24 square meters. The calculator's done that for us. It has then taken our glazing number and seen what percentage of the walls are glass as opposed to wall with cladding on it, effectively. Windows can be insulated. I think these are just based off standard like insulation value for Windows,
Mhm.
which is quite minimal, but yeah, it is what it is. So the important number is this one here. So minus 24.2%, and that's less than 30%. So I get a pass on that. Do you get a pass on yours?
Yep.
Sweet. If it's over, we might have to approach it from a different method, but that's all good. So we both get a pass for now. And then if we come up and check our other two important numbers, my heat loss proposed is 544, and the max is 657. So I get a pass on that as well. And that's done. So from there, you just need to save, obviously. Use the Adrian method of Control S, but export as PDF. So make sure you're on the H1 calculations page and only publish this page. I'm not sure what PDFs or spreadsheet software you're using, but
Google.
okay, sweet, awesome. So you know how to do just this one page if you're exporting on your software?
Yeah.
Sweet, all good. And then you just need to save PDF. Shut this down. If I come into here, I have my completed calculations. I've got a big green pass, and our numbers are all good. Awesome. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, hit that little notification bell, and we'll catch you in the next one.